I recently recorded a video review of the Cambridge AXC 35 CD player, and in part of the review I mentioned how I hooked it up to my shit Modi DAC sitting up there in the corner, and I had a few friends ask me how to actually install an external DAC to a CD player. So I thought I would show you how I did it with this Cambridge, and I'll also show you what to look for when you're buying a vintage CD player to make sure that you have that capability. Let me turn this unit around and I'll show you how to hook it up. Okay, this is kind of a no-brainer example, but most people are used to hooking up a CD player via RCA cables. So in this instance, you've got your line output on your CD player, and that's going to, you've got your RCA cables that will install into the back of the receiver, which everyone's pretty much used to. However, if you wanted to install a DAC, this is basically what you would do. You'll have a DAC like this, and on the CD player, you're going to need to make sure you've got this digital output. I'll explain that in a minute. But instead of running your RCA cables from your CD player to your receiver, you're going to run your RCA cables here into your DAC, and you're going to need a digital cable. In this instance, it's just a coaxial cable. So you plug that there from the CD player, and that's going to go into my DAC, right, through the digital output. So the digital out from the CD player is going into the DAC, and then I have the RCA cables on the DAC connected to the amplifier right here. Okay, so I have this vintage Denon single tray CD player here. Let me turn it around and I'll show you why, if you were to find this used somewhere and you wanted to hook it up to an external DAC, let me explain to you why you can't. Hold on one sec, let me turn it around. Okay, so now I've got the Denon CD player turned around, and you'll notice there's only one output here, this line out RCA. That's the only output. There's no digital output. You'll notice here on the Cambridge CD player, as we showed earlier, get this out of the way, there's your RCA line output and your digital output. So this, because there's no digital output on this vintage CD player, you can't run an external DAC with it. That's something that if you're out shopping around and you find an old CD player, like at a thrift store or antique store or something, flip it around and see if it's got that digital output. Because if it does, you can hook up an external DAC to it. But if it doesn't, it's up to you whether or not you want, to use the vintage chip that's inside of it. But if you want to be able to install that external DAC, you want to find that digital output. And basically all it does is when you install a cord, your cable from the digital output to your DAC, you're bypassing the internal DAC of the CD player that you would be using, by using these RCA cables. So if you're looking for a vintage unit, look for that digital output. That'll let you know if you can install a DAC or not. Hope this video was helpful. If it is, give it a like. Just spread it around to other people who may be interested in figuring out how to use a DAC with their CD player. Thank you.